Tensura X Gate. Thus the JSDF fought their XHDARHRTK by Noru-Sensei. Third POV. As they went inside the venue, there are many cameras inside. This very meeting and interaction are being broadcasted live around the world. The first one to enter was a girl in a gothic dress with a mourning veil on her face. Next one is a girl with a staff on her hands. Her outfit were those typical mages being on cosplay. She has blue hair and blue eyes. Then a woman with blonde hair and blue eyes wearing a suit. Another one entered, but this time is a teenager-looking boy with ash-gray hair wearing a black military uniform. Behind him is a lady with waist-long white hair and crimson eyes. She is also wearing a black military uniform similar to the boy. Finally, a man in his 30 feet wearing the JGSDF service dress winter version. Then they proceed to sit down on a chair prepared for them. But to most people, especially to the President of the United States, Prime Minister of China, and the President of Russia were curious on why there is an extra 2 chairs. Maybe those guests were late or getting something. They all thought. Some of the people watching this were mesmerized by the beauty of the unknown woman in black military uniform similar to the JGSDF. Some then Japanese people thought, is the SDF trying to introduce yet another uniform? While the others thought, maybe they also came from the special region wearing identical uniforms similar to ours. Those thoughts were dispelled when they heard the bell, signaling the start of the conference. As the conference starts, a Diet member named Kuhara Mizuki criticized the JSDF for their actions against the Flame Dragon. She has the death toll of 150 Kota villagers. She stated that meanwhile the JSDF didn't even have a single causality. Why is she doing this? Kuhara is a woman who is an opportunist. She only wants promotions on her position. She wanted the JSDF to take the blame and criticism on how they handled the Flame Dragon and the civilians. Now she first questioned Tuka on how did the JSDF handled them during the Flame Dragon attack. Tuka just replied that she were asleep at the time. Next she went to Lele. She asked the same thing. But Lele didn't understand exactly what she asked. Then it turned into a simple question. Does the JSDF does not meet the necessary things you needed? Kuhara asked. Then Lele replied, if you are saying if they do not provide us food, water, other necessaries. They do provided us. They provided us some temporary shelter, food, clothes, water, and other necessary commodities. Then Kuhara was a bit speechless by this, so she let Lele go back to her seat. Now finally it was Rory Mercury's turn. When she saw the mourning veil on her, she thought to herself, looks like this is going to be my chance. That girl looks like she lost her family during that incident. When Rory had reached the podium, Kuhara started to bombard her with questions like, what do you think the JSDF's actions? Don't you think they had a responsibility, these causalities? How is Atami's handled to this? Did he had any flaws? Then she finishes with, tell us. Tell us what you feel. Tell to the whole world how the JSDF handled you poorly. Then she smirked. This is my win, Kuhara thought to herself as she smiles widely. Rory went silent for few seconds, then she suddenly said, Anata o baka. Then the sound of the mic got those eerie sounds as she was so loud. This caused all of the people present covered their ears. Then there was a short silence. Rory then went on to explain how did Atami and the others were so brave facing that Flame Dragon. On how they prioritized the safety of the villagers first before their own. Then after Rory's short speech. Do you understand it, little girl? This caused Kuhara to snap. Then she said. Little girl. You are the little girl. I don't know about your world, but, in our culture, we respect our elders. She said it in a furious voice. Rory was furious about it. Not just she was called as a little girl, but she has no respect to her. Her lips turned violet, then she grabbed on her weapon. Atami then intervened before a bloodshed happens. He quickly put Rory to her seat, then calmed her down. Then Atami rushed on the podium saying that actually Rory is actually the oldest present here. Kuhara was shocked about it, then she asked Rory on how old is she. 961 years old, said Rory. This led to shocking everyone. Then Kuhara proceeded to ask Tuka, then Tuka replied she is 165 years old, and finally she looked into Lele in fear, but she only said she is 16 years old, to which Kuhara's relief. Or so she thought, she forgot there are 2 more guests. So she then asks a woman with waist-long white hair and crimson eyes wearing a black military uniform. Then everyone looked at her. Some think that there is no way that this beautiful woman is way older than she looks, right? Some of the people thought. Just then a smile can be seen on the woman's face. Then she said, I don't remember my age since I'm there at the very start of the creation of the world. The woman said. Most of the reaction were tense, dismay, surprise, and among more emotions. Some even fainted when they heard this. Like in the live stream chat on how they commented that Rory was a descended goddess. Another set of people think that this woman is basically the goddess herself. Now the Diet members Kuhara fainted from the information. Atami was speechless but decided to continue the question. This time for the seemingly young man with ash-gray hair wearing the same black military uniform that the woman goddess has. Then that young man said he already lived for more than 20,000 years. Now more of the people just either not surprised anymore, but that is only true to the boys. As for the girls, they were so shocked that almost half of them fainted. But little did they know that was more than done. There is two unknown guests. Now Atami got a thought communication from that guest herself. But only Atami knows and can hear this. So he pretended that he got a call from his phone. Then he cleared his throat and then started to speak. Everyone, I just got informed that two of our guests are finally here, said Atami as the people looked on the door. As the door opened, they saw a beautiful woman with waistlant black hair and blue eyes wearing her dark gray-colored military uniform. You can say it was very similar to JSDF's service dress, but there are noticeable differences. You can see that her rank and insignia is a general equivalent to the JSDF. But they noticed her queen's crown insignia on her sleeves. Almost all of the people, including the major three, were thinking that she is the queen of some kind of a nation back in the special region. Most men looked at her, mesmerizing her beauty. Then after that beautiful woman entered, another one did. She has bluish silver hair and pure golden eyes. She was wearing a bluish silver colored military uniform with her hair up that can see her beautiful neck. She was wearing a same colored beret. Most of the men just now were either having a heavy blush or having a nosebleed because of this woman's beauty. The girls are also like that, either blushing but not as hard like the boys. Some girls are also having a nosebleed. But most of them are jealous by her beauty. As she walks towards to the podium, everyone was quiet. Then she spoke. Nice to meet you all, I am Rimuru Tempest, queen of the nation called Jura Tempest Federation Queendom. I'm also a true deity of the Ultra Omniverse. She then smiled at the end. It was either because of the smile or the introduction that the woman made, most were staring at her. Some fainted on the spot, then the comment section went wild because of this. In Japan that still knows the mysterious incident happened back in Akihabara 20 years ago where there was the same woman in front of them. But this time she is not wearing a beautiful dress but now a military uniform from her country. Most people in other countries said that she is lying, another who knew said the incident believed instantly. Some were skeptical, but the rest believed it her words as her beauty itself, those perfect white skin, her eyes especially were the key factors. Then she begun to speak again. I came here to warn our three countries, namely China, Russia, and the United States of America to do not try anything to invite us to your country by force. Now that I have said that, I'll go to the next topic. She then paused speaking to let the people sink in those information. The people laughed at this, from where? America, Russia, China, some parts of Europe. But others had no comment, the rest felt that this unknown Indiva goddess is warning those three countries. Is she serious or is she just joking? The President of the United States Darrell thought. She sure is joking, it makes me laugh. The Chinese President Dong Deku thought. She is threatening us. Either way her country must be overconfident. I must show her how different our gaps are. The Russian President Zyuganov thought and declared in his thoughts. But those thoughts were stopped when they saw her golden eyes staring, almost they were being looked at by her. Then they saw a glimpse of crimson eyes for a split second before going back to pure golden eyes again. That must be my imagination. The three of them thought to themselves. Then she continued. As you know, my country's name is Jura Tempest Federation Queendom. You may visit our country soon if you wanted. How can you visit? I'll just make another gate, but this time it directs to our country. Where is this? The country I've chosen is Japan. Same district, in Ginza. This gate will be near to the current gate. The difference? It will be our forces to guard this gate. If you are willing, just send a mail to the current gate. I'll be coming here again sometime soon to explain our requirements properly. That would be all, thank you. She gave her beautiful smile and left the podium to sit down. Few years later Tempest became the world's attractive country for tourists. They were also feared by other countries because of their mighty military force. This was also the start for the Earth to change drastically. Tempest was known as the Holy Federation. In other names, the strongest country to be known to humans. But that would be a story for another time. Rimuru, parallel existence POV. I'm currently standing next to Sumakun and Lisha Lishachan at the Jewel Voice broadcast room. We are in the meeting in front of three dukes. Namely my daughter Excel Walter, in the middle is Georg Carmen, and lastly Castor Vargas. In the end of that meeting only my daughter swore allegiance to Sumakun thanks to me and Junichan. We tried to persuade Castor, but this hard-headed, prideful Dragonute decided to join Carmine's side. Looking my daughter like this, even though she is not my biological daughter. I'm not seeing her like this. I thought to myself as I looked on Excechan's expression. Her face was like a worried mother for her son-in-law. Soma also tried to convince but to no avail. But that doesn't stop him to continue this little plan of his. No, more likely this plan of Georg Carmen himself. Era, want to know what is it? I think it's the best to know it from the person itself. Time skip. There was a fight already at Carmine's territory, more likely near his territory's capital city. Even still without my help, they have managed well to build a fort with the night. As of right now I'm enjoying my tea inside of this port. Yes, this port is being attacked by the corrupt nobles' forces. Then why am I enjoying my tea here like it's nothing? That is because I had my own plans in this. The only objective for me is to hold this fortress. It may be hard, but we have some professional forces here. Within the Forbidden Army, we have Hal and Kaide on the walls defending. There are also some dark elves that Sumakun helped one time from the landslide. This event already caused Kazuyakan to act like a king more than he intended. No, it's not his normal, regular self. Because of this incident, he blamed himself for it. I know it because of my open double-angle bracket universal sense. At that time I was with Excechan talking about something. I already knew that Soma won the gambling also, so why not enjoy a cup of tea? No one dared question on why I'm enjoying my tea currently. Is it because I'm Kazuyakan's personal advisor? Or is it because I'm Excelchan and Junichan's mother? Oh well, from what I can see, they have a pretty high and good morale in this fight. Even if the enemy suddenly brought those cannons. Also, the Valentine Ifasu is just above us observing the battle. Well, that is what I ordered them. I know that they're communicating with Ruminas and Shuna about the situation. Fudora meanwhile, I don't want to talk about it for now. We can see some wyverns flying here. It's the Air Force, a man from the watchtower said in a panic. Fu, calm down everyone, the Air Force is on our side. I said as I put down the cup onto the table. They looked at me with surprise. What do you mean, Rimuru-sama? Ludwin asked. It means we already won this war. I said to him while smiling. Then the soldiers cheered as the Air Force came and attacked the city's air defense. Few moments later we saw a white flag that indicates that the war ended. That is at least the end of this first part of the show. The real show begins here. Soma Kazuya POV. As I landed in the fortress that was built outside of Carmine's territory. Hal, Kaide, Ludwin and a dark elf was there standing. Rimuru-san meanwhile is enjoying her tea as usual. I've brought the Air Force as I promised. I told to Hal. And I've defended the fortress as you commanded. Hal replied. We then had a fist bump. If you are wondering how did I got close to Halbert. It was when I commanded the Forbidden Army to help in the construction for the roads. When Aisha, Lisha and I visited the site of the construction, I can see Hal is eating the hamburger we Pancho introduced together with Kaide. I came close to him and asked him how was the food. He said he was okay, then I got excited. I know Hal is almost at the same age as I, so I told him to just call me Kazali. He at first refused because of our social standing. But I gave it as a royal order to him only. Then he started to call me by my name and got close as friends. Now we face our real enemy, that is the Principality of Amidonia. Right now they're wasting their time trying to invade our country despite us having a civil war. I walked towards Rimuru-san who is enjoying her cup of tea while eating her bread in hand. Will you come with us to Amidonia's capital city of Van Rimuru-san? I invited her. Era, sure, but you go on ahead first, I'll finish my tea. Rimuru-san said as she took a bite of her bread. I nodded then got back to the Wyvern Royal Wagon. I forgot what was it called. You can just chat it here, what is it called, then I'll edit the chapter. Then we started to fly towards to the Principality of Amidonia's capital, Van. Rumina's Valentine Pav. Currently I'm on Tempest Air Force's headquarters constantly getting updates from my subordinates. Together with me is that I mean that goddess's wife, Shuna Tempest, her brother-in-law Benimaru Supreme General of Tempest Ground Forces, Gabaru Tempest Supreme Commander of Tempest's Air Force, that creep Diablo, Supreme Commander of Rimuru's personal numbers now called as Rimuru's Supreme Royal Coppers, also known as Black Numbers. Then we have the merwoman named Mayumi, she is the Supreme Commander of Tempest Navy and Marine Corps. Geld, one of Tempest generals who is in charge of Tempest's defenses. They can be offensive if Rimuru orders them. No, at this point it must be Rimuru-sama that I should call her. Why did you ask? I'm here as the Valentine Ephesus Supreme Commander under direct orders of that goddess herself. I must admit, she is so beautiful. I really wish I can be one of her wives. Well, maybe as a concubine is enough. Anyway, let's go back. Gobta is also here as a commander of Goblin Riders. One of Tempest's elite ground forces. We also have that one-horned big-breasted Shikokushu Yamagari, her personal coppers and one of Rimuru-sama's elite royal coppers. They already became as either Wicked Onus or Mystic Onus from being hobgoblins and goblinas. We are gathered here to talk about this operation that two-horned Shunasama proposed. Later on she will follow her personal coppers known as Horikyasuda Pink Numbers. They were being led now by Misery. How ironic I must say, a primordial demon leading a holy casters. Well, not that I can make a comment about it. Hinatakan meanwhile is at Tempest Human Resources Development Academy doing paperwork that Clochans had left. In this operation, we are selecting the troops from each numbers to be deployed on Earth. Well, at least that is the Earth version where that individual named Atami came from. Why do I know him? Testarossa reported it a while ago, also from the last meeting, Rimuru-sama mentioned it. Oh, I forgot. Frey is here as the Supreme Commander of Silver Numbers, but under Gabaru, Benimaru-sama, and Rimuru-sama. Carrion is here as the Supreme Commander of Golden Numbers, one of Tempest's elite forces which is under the command of Rimuru-sama herself. I'm still amazed about Tempest's technology advancements. The former Holy Empire of Ruberios is now no more. We already migrated to Tempest, she did as what she promised to us. So we have decided to serve under her. I was pretty sure to be part of the ground forces under Benimaru, but we were the first ones to drive those Tempest jets. Then our Air Force was created. We're also under direct command of Rimuru-sama only. Then these boring talks continued for some time. Atami Yuji Pav. Now this made our jobs more harder. Rimuru-san is now famous ever. Not just because she announced she is the queen of Jura Tempest Federation, nor that she is a goddess. But due to her beauty and her beautiful voice. She also played some instruments that suddenly appeared. Currently we somehow made it to my ex-wife's house. Maybe it was due to Rimuru-san. I don't know exactly. Right now Rimuru-san is cooking us dinner. It already smells good. I can't wait to taste her cooking. As Rimuru-san finishes her cooking, we then started to eat her home cooking. It was so good, as expected of a goddess. Then all of a sudden I felt being stared at. Is that my imagination? Well, I'll just enjoy this meal. Time skip. We arrived at a resort owned by the SDF. As of right now we are being guarded by the SFG. I just hope no one disturbed this little relaxation we had. I'm on the onsen right now with Tomita and Masan. He may look like a teenager but he is way older than me. Then all of a sudden we heard some of the girls on the other side. Kya, Rimuru-san's skin is so smooth. I'm so envious. Among those lines. So we have decided that this is enough for us. So we got off the onsen then put our yukata on. Rimuru, original, Pav. We're currently on the onsen right now. When I just entered onto the onsen, Chloe was there being shy due to her being praised by the other girls. It was the same with Testa. But now why did they have to switch their focus on me? Those aside, I already detected those, special guest, of ours. Looks like they think I'm joking, let's play their little game for now. After some time we got off to the onsen, dried our body then put on our yukata. Then we got out of the onsen to drink for some reason. Ladies, you're forgetting something. Lele can't drink alcohol, but she was there anyway with us. But I didn't let her drink of course. I won't let an underage person to drink. After some time, they dragged the boys into this drinking then they went to sleep. Testa and Rory were awake. Chloe meanwhile got drunk drinking after 3 glass of Nika whiskey. She is not a good drinker huh? I wonder about Shizusan. I then left the room with Testa to punish those who dare try and kidnap us. Third POV. The SFG were eliminating those other countries' operatives. They were mainly from China, Russia and the US. But the SDF doesn't know yet that the US involved into this. Kano, who is the commander of this operation. He is also the defense minister. This operation for him is very important as there are multiple VIPs inside that resort. We have quite a special guest. I guess you can count it as an honor. Kano said as he looked into the monitoring screen. He was referring to Rimuru Tempest. Currently her subordinate, Testarossa was eliminating these threats from the other special operatives in other countries. The SFG are helping her from the shadows. I must say Testarossa-san is amazing in her combat. She moves too quickly, she can teleport after all. I pity those fools who dared enter here to just kidnap them. Thought Kano as he is amazed in what he is seeing. As for the battlefield, Testarossa currently is gun pointed by multiple unknown operatives, one of them fired a shot. But to their surprise, Testarossa just caught their bullet then flicks it back to its shooter. Now he was dead as it was shot to his head. All of them fired the shot at the same time but to no avail, Testarossa just kept on dodging them with no sweat on her. But then their heads got decapitated in a mere second. Beta is eliminated, one of the observers said. Did you just see that? Another one said. HHAI, she is no human. Another one commented. Get back to work, this is not the time to be amazed. Kano said. Ha! They all said at the same time. HQ, this is Archer 1. There is no movement on Alpha over. Keep observing them, Kano ordered. Roger, this is Archer 1. Damn it, why are they not moving? Kano thought in slight irritation. Sir, it looks like one of our VIPs is moving outside in incredible speeds. One of the monitoring SDF said. Let her be, she must be observing the fight of her subordinate and daughter. Kano ordered. Ha, she replied. Shuna Pa, we're currently in a place called Ursula Mountains. Waiting for the Amidonian army to pass. Together with me is Danasama's daughter Juna, and her commando group to ambush them. At first I was surprised to learn Danasama had a daughter already. But when she explained it properly I understood immediately. I was scared there for a second and ready to scold her. Then moments later Misery came to us and said. Shuna-sama, Juna-sama, the enemy is near. Then she slightly bowed her head. We looked at each other then nod to signal our cooperation. Then we started to ambush them, they were surprised and panicking. One of them seems to be moving forward leading them. That must be the Prince of Amidonia. We could actually finish their pity numbers here, but Danasama said to left at least 15,000 troops. But when I counted to check. Silly me. I guess we went a bit overboard there. They were 13,000 left, 2,000 less than what Danasama said to us. I think Danasama would understand. Then we withdraw from the Ursula Mountains and went back to Tempest. Soma Kazuya Pa, I'm on a tent behind with my troops of 50,000 strong. We're currently waiting for the Amidonians to arrive. Together with me is Carla and Rimuru-san. As always Rimuru-san is enjoying her tea. I was feeling nervous for some reason. I don't know why. Then I could hear a battle cry outside, must be us. The enemy had arrived. Then moments later I could hear some clashes outside. Then Rimuru-san who finished drinking her tea suddenly went outside. Few seconds later a guard went in. Sire, the enemy general of Amidonia is here at the camp. The guard said. Then I thought to myself, it must be my end. I don't know how to fight. Where did Rimuru-san have went tea? Then I realized. How is Rimuru-san? I suddenly asked in a worried voice. She is currently fighting against the Prince of Amidonia. The guard said. I went outside when I saw Gaius Amidonia holding his chest as he spat some blood. All of us were speechless as Rimuru-san just handled him elegantly. Her way of swordsmanship. She is not a goddess for nothing. Gaius Amidonia has been slain. Rimuru-san declared. This all caused all to look at her. All of them cheered while the remaining Amidonian army surrendered to us. Apparently they lost 17,000 along the way. Then they managed to bring up until 23,000 troops. Then we walked into Van, Amidonia's capital city. Atami Uji Pa. I woke up from my sleep, it was already dark when I opened my eyes. Then I felt someone who was hugging me. It was Lele. I slowly got out of the futon and stood up. Then I saw Rory still drinking whiskey. She saw me then signaled me to come. I hesitated but I came near her. She talked about her body being like that because of her becoming a demigod. When she completed and ascended to godhood, she would be the goddess of love. But then the topic took another turn. Since she has the body of a teenager, she hasn't experienced sex in her life. Then she suddenly pushed me down. She was already on top of me, I was making an excuse. Then suddenly my phone rang. Rory was disappointed and pissed about it. But I was happy, it saved me from that situation. Then when I answered my phone it was Kanison who called, saying that we must leave the resort now and go back to Ginza immediately. Rimuru, original, POV. We are currently at Ginza, there are too many people in here gathered. It was scheduled for us to visit and respect the dead from the incident before going back to the special region. Apparently it was thanks to Atami's ex-wife's work that the crowd is this many. It was a good plan to reduce the activity will be made by the CIA and the other countries' operatives. After some time we said our farewell and entered to back to gate. Then we arrived back to the GSDF's headquarters here in Falmart continent. We said our farewell as well with them, then we went back to Tempest. As we arrived many people welcomed us back from our trip. I'll tell you the story for another time. As we finished the banquet, I remembered something to do. That is to resurrect Shizusan, and I'll include Kagami on this one. I then got off from the office and went to the part of the castle where I will resurrect them.